Hello everyone, I'm back here with another video, and in this video we're actually going to be taking a look at Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. Now I normally don't upload Master Duel videos to my channel, not because I don't like Master Duel, I play that on my own time. However, the main reason why I don't upload Master Duel videos is because there's a ton of Master Duel videos on YouTube already. When you look online, most of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Content is not on the TCG or the OCG, it's on Master Duel. This is the main reason why I don't upload any Master Duel videos. It's not because I don't like Master Duel, I actually like it a lot, probably more than other people. I know the general sentiment right now is that Master Duel is awful, but I've actually been enjoying it myself. There's just a ton of Master Duel videos on YouTube already, so I really don't feel the need to upload it. However, I'm gonna make an exception here mainly because one of my favorite archetypes ever is getting support in Master Duel, and that's DDD. Without a doubt, DDD is one of my favorite archetypes of all time. I don't know exactly how high I would rank this deck on my favorite archetypes, but it's definitely up there near the top. Now I know everyone else is gonna care more about Yummy because without a doubt Yummy is the best archetype in the new pack. However, I just love DDD so much because this archetype is so fun to play. I know some people don't like some of the extra deck summoning mechanics, but I like all of them. I know nowadays it's pretty common for an archetype to use multiple different summoning mechanics from the extra deck, however DDD was really the originator of that. DDD is actually a really old archetype, they're over a decade old at this point. They came out first in 2014 and they were the first archetype to use multiple different extra deck summoning mechanics. They were the first archetype to have a Synchro, Xyz, a Fusion, and even a Pendulum monster. Links didn't exist at that time, which is why they didn't have a Link monster, but they did get one shortly after. I also watched Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 when it was airing, so I really did enjoy seeing Reiji summon all the DDD monsters. I always really liked cards like DDD Gust King Alexander and DDD Flame King Genghis. Those were pretty much the two cards that Reiji summoned the most, and they were pretty awesome. If you played DDD in the past before they got their modern support, you would know that those two cards were the most important in the extra deck before. Now DDD as an archetype is getting a huge wave of support, they're getting a lot of new cards here. The new cards are fantastic, they give them better combo starters and even combo extenders. However, the biggest benefit of the new support for DDD is the fact that they have a way to beat Nibiru now. If you played DDD in the past like I did before, you would know that Nibiru is one of the hardest things for that deck to stop. They pretty much had no way to put up a monster negate before their 5th summon very easily. However, now with their new support, it's incredibly easy to beat Nibiru. Now beating Nibiru is cool, but another great thing about the new DDD support is that they can also very easily beat Dark Ruler no more as well. One thing that I've noticed when people post their DDD combos online is that their boards are always really weak to Dark Ruler no more. I'm not really sure why, because Dark Ruler no more is one of the strongest board breaking cards in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! That card will negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent controls on the field, and monster effects cannot respond to it. That's incredibly powerful, and I'm not sure why people disrespect the card. I see people just put a bunch of monster negates on the field with no way to stop a Dark Ruler, and I don't really understand it. If you've seen any of my videos in the past, whenever I post a combo video, I always make sure I have at least one way to stop Dark Ruler no more. I'm not gonna build a huge board in my combo and have no way to beat Dark Ruler. I find it really silly just to lose to one card, so I always make sure my boards can't lose to one Dark Ruler. I'm gonna show you guys my favorite one card DDD combo that beats Nibiru but also beats Dark Ruler no more. The best thing about this as well is that it ends on all the good DDD boss monsters. You're gonna end on Siegfried, you're gonna end on Divisor King, you're gonna end on High Wave King Caesar, and you're also gonna end on the new Link 3 monster. Pretty much you're gonna have everything that you need. Now to do this combo, you only need one card in your opening hand, you only need one DDD 0 Doom Queen Machine X. This card has a really good pendulum effect and a really good monster effect. We're gonna place this card into our pendulum scale, then activate this card's pendulum effect. What this card does is during your main phase, if this card was activated this turn, you get to place one Dark Contract Continuous Spell or Trap from your deck into your face-up field. This effect is incredibly good, so now we're gonna activate this. We're gonna take our Dark Contract with the gate and place this card into our face-up spell and trap zone. Now we're gonna activate Dark Contract with the gate. During your main phase, you get to take one DDD monster and add the card to your hand. We're gonna get a search for DDD Kepler. Now we're gonna normal summon the Kepler and activate this card's effect. If this card is normal or special summoned, you get to add a Dark Contract card from your deck to your hand. We're gonna get a search for another one of the new cards. This is Dark Contract with the Zero King. Now this card is really cool because it's a Dark Contract card that's also always treated as a DDD card. What this card lets you do is you get to target one DDD card you control except this card, then you get to destroy it, and if you do, you get to summon one DDD monster from your deck. However, if you activate this, you can't summon anything except for DDD monsters for the rest of this turn. Now we're gonna summon DDD Savant Copernicus from our deck. Now we're gonna activate the effect of Copernicus. What this card will do when it's normal or special summoned is you get to send one DDD or Dark Contract card from your deck to the grave. We're gonna send another new card to the grave. This is DD Lance Soldier. Now we're gonna take our Kepler and our Copernicus to link summon. We're gonna link summon DDD Abyss King Gilgamesh. Now the effect of Gilgamesh is gonna activate. If this card was special summoned, you get to place 2 DD Pendulum monsters with different names from your deck into your Pendulum zones. Now here you're also going to take 1000 damage from this effect, and you also can't special summon any monsters except for DD monsters for the rest of this turn. We're going to place DDD Savant Thomas and DDD Orthos into our Pendulum zones. Now we're going to activate the effect of Orthos here. What this card will let you do is you get to target a spell and trap on the field and one other DDD or Dark Contract card you control and destroy both of them. We're going to activate this effect. Now I know this is going to look a little weird because we only have cards on our own field, so we're going to have to destroy 2 of our own cards. But trust me, it's going to make sense. So we're going to destroy our Orthos and any of the Dark Contract cards we have face up on the field. It doesn't matter, just pick one of them. Both are going to get destroyed here, but this will trigger the effect of our Doom Queen in our face up extra deck. If a DDD card and or a Dark Contract card you control is destroyed face up while this card is in your extra deck face up, you get to summon this card and then you get to destroy 1 card on the field. This is really great, and this is one of the reasons why we destroyed Orthos. So now we're going to summon this card from our extra deck to our field, and we're not going to activate the effect to destroy a card. So now you're going to take your Doom Queen and your Gilgamesh to link summon again. You're going to summon another new card. This is DDD Sky King Zeus Ragnarok. Now this is going to be summon 5, so this is the first chance your opponent has to activate Nibiru. The cool thing about Sky King Zeus is that this card will be able to negate Nibiru. When your opponent activates the monster effect in the hand, as a quick effect you get to banish 1 DDD monster and a Dark Contract card from your grave, and if you do you get to negate that activation. Now this effect is fantastic, and just by reading the card you can tell it was made to beat Nibiru. The reason why is because this card only negates monster effects in the hand. It can't negate any effects on the field, in the grave, or the banishment, and also doesn't destroy the card either. This means that your opponent just gets to keep the card that you negated in their hand, but that's not a problem. The reason why is because even though your opponent gets to keep the Nibiru, they can only use the effect in Nibiru once per turn. Now you're free to do whatever you want in DDD without having to worry about getting hit by Nibiru. So now here we're going to activate the effect of Thomas in our scale. What this card will let you do is during your main phase, you get to add 1 face of DDD Pendulum monster from your extra deck to your hand. We're going to add back our Doom Queen to our hand and then activate that card in our other Pendulum zone. So now we have a scale 6 and a scale 0, so we can Pendulum summon between level 1 and 5. We're going to Pendulum summon for 3 because we have 3 down pointing arrows. We're going to summon our Orthos, we're going to summon Copernicus, and then we're going to summon Kepler. So now we're going to take our Copernicus and our Orthos to Synchro Summon. We're going to summon DDD Curse King Siegfried. Now it's very important here that you Synchro Summon into Siegfried only. You do not want to use Copernicus or Orthos as Xyz material. You're going to see why in a second. Now we're going to activate the other effect of Sky King Zeus. You get to target 1 DDD or Dark Contract card you control and destroy that card. Now you get to perform 1 extra Pendulum Summon for DDD monsters during your main phase. Now we're going to take our Copernicus and our Orthos to Xyz Summon now. We're going to summon another new card. This is DDD Wise King Solomon. This card has an effect by detaching 1 material, you get to add a DD card from your deck to your hand. That's a very good effect, and now we're going to activate this. We're going to detach 1 material to get a search for DDD Griffin. Now here we're going to Xyz Summon DDD Marks King Kingtel. This card is a rank 5 monster, but it can also be Xyz Summoned using a rank 4 DDD monster you control. You also transfer the materials under that card onto this card. During this turn, if you took any effect damage, you get to detach 1 material from this card. Now you get to target a monster on the field and it loses 1000 attack, then you also get to burn your opponent for 1000 damage. Now this effect is honestly not too relevant to the combo, but it's just free damage. You should always take free damage when you can, and we did take effect damage this turn, so now we get to activate this effect. So now we're going to target our own King Tell. The monster will lose 1000 attack, but our opponent will also get burned for 1000 damage. So here we're going to use our King Tell and our Kepler as link material to summon another Gilgamesh. Now the effect of Marksman Kingtel will activate. If this card is sent to the grave, you get to take a DDD or Dark Contract card from your deck and send it to the grave. We're going to activate this effect and send our Necro Slime from our deck to the grave. Here we're going to activate the grave effect of our Necro Slime. If this card is in your grave, you get to fusion summon 1 DDD fusion monster from your extra deck. This is done by banishing the materials from your grave, including this card. We're going to banish our Necro Slime and our Orthos to summon DDD Flame King Genghis. Now we're going to activate the effect of our Lance Soldier in our grave. You get to send a Dark Contract card you control to the grave to summon this card from the grave. Now we're going to activate the effect of Genghis here. If another DDD monster is special summoned while this card is on the field, you get to target a DD monster in your grave and summon it. We're going to target our Copernicus and summon that card. So here we're going to take our level 2 Lance Soldier and our level 4 Copernicus to summon another new synchro. This is DDD First King Clovis. The card is a level 6 synchro monster that's completely generic. If this card is synchro summoned, you get to target one of your banished DD monsters and you get to summon that card to the field. However, if you have a Dark Contract card on your field, you get to target any DD monster in your grave instead. We don't have any Dark Contract cards on our field, so now we have to summon a monster from our banished zone. Now you're going to take your Clovis and you're going to take your Genghis to summon DDD Wave High King Caesar. Now you're going to activate the effect of DDD Griffin in your hand. If you control a DD monster and this card is in your hand, you get to summon it to the field. Now you're going to take your Orthos and your Griffin to Xyz Summon again. You're going to summon DDD Wave King Caesar. So here you're going to take your rank 4 Caesar and you're going to take your Gilgamesh to summon another Sky King Zeus. The reason why you have to do this is because you have to get Caesar into the grave. The reason why is because when this card is sent to the grave, you get to take a Dark Contract card from your deck and add the card to your hand. Now you're going to get a search for Dark Contract contract with a different dimension. Now here you're going to take your Sky King Zeus that's in your main monster zone and place your Divisor King on top of it. The reason why you're able to summon this card is because Divisor King has a really cool effect. This card can also be Xyz summoned by using a DDD monster you control as material. This is why we're able to use Sky King Zeus as material to summon this card. Now here you're going to set your Dark Contract with a different dimension and end your turn. Now this end board is incredibly good. You're able to summon your Sky King Zeus, you have Divisor King, you have Wave King Caesar, and you also have Siegfried. Not to mention you also have your face down Dark Contract. So you have 2 special summon negates off the effect of Caesar, you can negate a spell and trap off the effect of Siegfried, you get to negate a monster effect in the hand of Sky King Zeus. Now you also only have 1 material under Divisor King, but you have your face down Dark Contract. This means that you get to take 1 opponent's monster and now Divisor King will have 2 materials under it. This is very good because the effect of Divisor King is once per chain, not once per turn. With just 1 card, you're also able to beat Nibiru and you'll also be able to beat Dark Ruler no more. Now on your opponent's turn, if they have Dark Ruler no more, they're going to activate that card. You're going to chain your Dark Contract with a different dimension here. Now you're going to activate the effect of Siegfried. It's really cool how Siegfried can negate any spell and trap on the field as a quick effect. Now the reason why we have to activate the trap card first though is because Siegfried cannot respond to Dark Ruler no more. Dark Ruler no more cannot be responded to by a monster effect, but it can be negated by a monster effect later. So now we get to negate Dark Ruler no more, and this is perfect. For just 1 card, you're able to beat Dark Ruler no more and Nibiru, and you also ended on the full board. Now if you don't know what Dark Contract with a different dimension does, this card is pretty good. You get to shuffle 2 Dark Contract cards from your grave into the deck, then target 1 card on your opponent's field or in the grave. You banish that card, which is pretty nice. Obviously this card is really good because it's just free removal, but at the same time it also shuffles your Dark Contract cards into your deck. That's honestly not too bad. So this is pretty much why I like this combo so much. You get to beat Nibiru, but you also get to beat Dark Ruler no more. This board is also really cool because we got to end on all of the DDD boss monsters. So that's pretty much it for this video. I just wanted to showcase a really cool 1-card DDD combo that beats Nibiru and Dark Ruler no more. I am incredibly excited to play DDD in Master Duel, and I hope you guys are too. Like I said at the start of this video, this is one of my favorite archetypes of all time. I pretty much play this deck at every opportunity that I get. Now there is another DDD card that I want to talk about individually that I didn't showcase in this combo. That card is called DDD Sage King Alfred. This card is amazing and honestly broken for DDD. That card's amazing because it will let you fusion summon by shuffling the materials from your grave or your banishment. That's incredibly good for recovering your resources. Alfred is also a level 6, which is great by the way. This means that card can be used as material to summon High Wave King Caesar. Alfred also has another effect when this card becomes banished. This card will let you target Dark Contract continuous spells or traps in your grave and your banishment up to the number of DDD monsters you control. Then you get to place the cards onto the field. This effect is crazy good because banishing this card is very easy. All you have to do is banish this card off the effect of Arc Crisis and now you get back all your resources. You'll be able to recover the Dark Contract that you banished off the effect of Sky King Zeus. You will also be able to get back the Dark Contract that you sent to the grave off Land Soldier. Also, if you destroy the last Dark Contract on your field off the effect of Divisor King, you'll be able to get back 3 Dark Contracts. However, the best thing about Alfred for sure is the fact that it lets you cut down on the bricks in your main deck. This is really great because before you had to play a card like Lance Soldier and Clovis in order to summon Caesar. Now you don't have to run those cards anymore. Pretty much what's going to happen is you're going to summon Alfred, then Alfred will let you fusion summon into Genghis. As a result, now you don't have to make Clovis and now you can make Caesar. This is so good because now we get to take out the Lance Soldier, and Lance Soldier is just a really bad brick in this deck. The reason why Lance Soldier is so bad is because the card can only summon itself from the grave. It's honestly really funny about that because Lance Soldier is meant to be a replacement for Lamia. The main reason why is because Lance Soldier is naturally a level 2, not a level 1. This makes it better to use with cards like Genghis and Clovis. However, the big issue is that Lamia can summon itself from the hand or the grave. Lance Soldier can only summon itself from the grave. This means that if you draw the Lamia in your opening hand, it's still live. The problem is if you draw Lance Soldier, the card is just dead unless you open Count Surveyor. This is what makes Alfred so amazing. Now you don't have to play Lance Soldier in your main deck and you don't have to play Clovis. I'll show you an even better 1-card DDD combo without those cards. So to do this combo, it's pretty much the same starter I showed you before. You either have to start with Kepler or Doom Queen. So I have Doom Queen here, so I'm going to activate that card in my Pendulum Zone, and now I get to place Dark Contract with a gate into my face-up spell and trap zone from my deck. Now we're going to get a search for Kepler. Now you're going to normal summon the Kepler, then activate this card's effect. Now we get to take a Dark Contract card and add the card to our hand. We're going to add Dark Contract with the Zero King. You're going to activate the Zero King and destroy your Doom Queen, and now you get to summon Copernicus from your deck. Now in the old combo, what I did was I sent Lance Soldier to the grave off the effect of Copernicus, but like I said, now that we have Alfred, you don't have to run that brick. The monster that we're going to send to the grave here is going to be Griffin. Now you're going to take Copernicus and your Kepler to summon Gilgamesh. You're going to activate the effect of Gilgamesh to scale Orthoros and Thomas. You're going to activate the effect of Orthoros, and now you're going to destroy itself and one of your Dark Contracts. Now this will trigger the effect of the Doom Queen in your extra deck and summon itself, and then you're going to take both monsters to make a Sky King Zeus. Now this is is going to be summon 5, so this is the first chance your opponent has to activate Nibiru. Now if your opponent has Nibiru here, you're going to chain the effect of Sky King Zeus to negate that. Now here Thomas is going to get back your Doom Queen, and now you're going to scale the card. Now here you're going to Pendulum summon for 3, you're going to summon the Kepler, the Orthos, and the Copernicus. You're going to Synchro into Siegfried, and now you're going to activate the effect of Zeus and destroy your Kepler. Now you get another Pendulum summon. We're going to Pendulum summon 3 again. We're going to Pendulum summon Kepler, Orthos, and Copernicus again. Once again, it's really important that you didn't Xyz summon the first time. The monsters need to be used as synchro material, so they go back to the extra deck. Here you're going to use Copernicus and Orthos to Xyz summon Wise King Solomon. Now you're going to activate the effect of Solomon and detach one material. Now off of this card's effect, we're going to add Scale Surveyor from our deck to our hand. Now here we're going to use Wise King Solomon as Xyz material to summon Marksman Kingtel. Now here you're going to activate the effect of Kingtel. Because you took damage this turn, now you get to detach a material from this card. Now your opponent takes 1000 burn damage. Now you're going to take your Kingtel and your Kepler and use them as material to summon another Gilgamesh. Now because Kingtel was sent to the grave, its own effect will activate there. Now you get to send Necro Slime from your deck to the grave. Now here we're going to use the effect of Necro Slime in the grave. We're going to banish this card from our grave along with Copernicus to summon Sage King Alfred. Now in the previous DDD combo, what we did was we summoned Genghis off the effect of Necro Slime, but this is better. The reason why is because we're going to summon Genghis off the effect of Alfred, so now you got a free monster here. Now we're going to activate the effect of Alfred here and shuffle back our Gilgamesh and our Necro Slime to summon Genghis. So this combo is way better than the first one because now you don't have to play Lance Soldier and you don't have to send it to the grave. You also don't have to play Founder King Clovis, which is another big plus. Now here you're going to summon Divisor King on top of Gilgamesh. This will trigger the effect of Genghis on your field. Now you're going to bring back your Griffin from the grave and this will trigger the effect of Griffin. When Griffin is summoned from the grave, you get to add a DD card from your deck to your hand. We're going to add DD Headhunt. Now you're going to special summon the Scale Surveyor from your hand. You're going to activate this card's effect when special summoned to make it a level 4. Now you're going to use Griffin and Scale Surveyor to summon the rank 4 Caesar. Now at this point it may look a little weird, but we're going to take our Caesar and our Divisor King to summon another Gilgamesh. Now the reason that we have to do this is because we have to find a way to get Caesar into our grave. The reason why is because when this card is sent from the field to the grave, we get to add a Dark Contract card from our deck to our hand. Also, the Gilgamesh that we summoned here is the card that we recycled off the effect of Alfred. Now a really interesting interaction is that Scale Surveyor can return the Doom Queen back to your hand. This means that you can activate the card next turn from your hand so you get another Dark Contract. However, the card that I added to my hand off the effect of Caesar was Dark Contract with the Eternal Darkness. I need to have completed scales here to use this card, so I'm going to have to activate my Doom Queen again. However, if you added a different Dark Contract to your hand, you get to keep the Machine X in your hand. Now we're going to set our DDD Headhunt and our Dark Contract with the Eternal Darkness. We're going to pass our turn. So our ending board is once again Divisor King, Wave King Caesar, Siegfried, and Sky King Zeus. We also have completed scales, so our Dark Contract with the Eternal Darkness is always going to be live. On top of that, you also got a free card here. You got the DDD Headhunt. So now on your opponent's turn, if they activate Dark Ruler no more, you're going to activate your face down Dark Contract with the Eternal Darkness. The effect of this card really doesn't matter, you just need a way to get Siegfried into the chain. Now you get to activate the effect of Siegfried here, target that Dark Ruler no more and negate that card. So this is another one card combo that beats Nibiru and Dark Ruler no more in DDD. This combo is way better than the first one though, because you got an extra card in DDD Headhunt. On top of that, now you don't have to play Lance Soldier or Clovis, which are really bad cards in this deck. There's honestly really no point in playing those cards anymore now that we have Alfred. Now here I'm also going to provide you guys with a sample deck list just in case you want to play DDD and Master Duel. I know DDD is a pretty difficult deck to understand just because there's a lot of different steps involved in a lot of the combos. If you're a beginner and you've never played this deck before, it can be pretty overwhelming, so I want to provide a deck list here. Even if you don't want to use the deck list that I provided here, as long as you have the staple cards, you're going to be fine. Now the most important cards in this deck are definitely the one card starters, that's going to be Kepler and Doom Queen. As a result, you're going to want to play 3 copies of both of those cards. You're also going to be playing 3 copies of Gate and Count Surveyor. Another card that's really good to play in this deck is Nightmare Throne. However, I'm only running 2 of them just because it can only be used once per turn and you don't want to have that many of them. Nightmare Throne is really good in this deck because it will let you add a Fiend monster from your deck that has 0 attack. That's amazing. The reason why is that Kepler has 0 attack and sometimes you can even add Copernicus from your deck to your hand. I usually would only add Kepler though. I'm also playing a lot of hand traps. I have 3 Ash, 3 Fuelos, 2 Maxi, and 2 Droll, as well as 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Now I play a lot of hand traps here mainly because when I'm forced to go second, I always want a way to defend myself. Pretty much for me in any of my decks, I try to play at least 12 to 16 hand traps. Now I'm also playing Crossout Designator here, mainly for Droll and Lockbird, however, this can also work against Nibiru and Effect Veiler. I'm not playing those other 2 cards mainly because Veiler is worse than Imperm. Usually when your opponent has a hand trap, it's going to be Imperm over Veiler. However, you can play a copy of Veiler if you want here. You really don't want to run Nibiru for Crossout mainly because DDD is never afraid of Nibiru anymore. It's honestly pretty crazy, but after their new support, DDD destroys Nibiru. Nibiru honestly can't do anything to this deck anymore. Now in the side deck, I have my Lance Soldier and my Clovis because I don't want to play those cards anymore. You don't need this card anymore to climb into Siegfried, and you don't need this card to summon Bright Armageddon. It's also very pointless to use this card as material to summon Caesar because you're going to have Alfred. This card is basically useless in this deck now. Lance Soldier is just a brick now and you don't have to run that card, so it's very nice. I think this is pretty much everything important I wanted to cover. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you found this combo guide useful to beat Nibiru and Dark Ruler no more in DDD. I am very excited for the new DDD support, so I'm gonna go play Master Duel and play DDD. Have a good one guys, and I'll see you for the next video.